The first e-bike I tested on the channel was the HeyBike Ranger S. Now I have the all-new Horizon Sunset Edition. Let's get into it. The HeyBike Horizon folding bike is an exclusive time deal. It goes on sale less than 20 hours from the recording. And if you're lucky enough to see the video today, you can spend $50 to activate a $300 voucher. The unique paint that goes from yellow to orange to kind of like this dark grapefruit color is unique to the Horizon and is meant to represent a sunset. And previously I reviewed the Ranger S on the channel, a folding bike that's very similar to the Horizon. However, it didn't have a rear suspension. This Horizon not only has bigger tires, 24-inch tires compared to the 20-inch tires, it has a horsed link rear suspension that really makes the ride quality so much more smooth. You also get a unique number plaque. There's only 500 units available for this Horizon. We have a 48-volt battery. You can go up to 55 miles of range with pedal assist, and that rear hub motor is 1200 watts peak power. Also, you get about $120 of gifts when you buy the Horizon e-bike with some gloves, a nice backpack as well. Sales begin November 21st, starting at $1,600, but if you're watching it, if you're lucky enough to be watching it on the 20th here, activate that $300 voucher and get an even better deal on the limited edition HeyBike Horizon. Now let's get into the riding impressions. The Ranger S was one of my favorite e-bikes I've tested on the channel. The throttle response is excellent on these bikes. It's just with this button right here, that lever you press down. Lots of juice from that rear hub motor. The Horizon, like I said, has this unique paint color which looks amazing with the rising sun here in the morning. Of course, it'll look cool at all times of day. My wife really loves the paint scheme here. How many e-bikes out there have a gradient as a paint color? It's really, really neat. Now, of course, this is a folding bike. The battery here is removable. Here is that amazing force style rear suspension. Gotta love the metal pedals as well. Everything in here feels super solid, super durable. Now, HeyBike also included a few accessories for the review. I have the panniers here, which I had on the Ranger S. So you can forego the rear rack, which they also sent me, and just bolt onto the frame that's included with the bike. But you can get the panniers as well, and strap these onto the bike, tighten them down, and then you can conceal your items. And it's just a different way of transporting your stuff. I'm really liking the rear rack. It's not gonna, you don't run any chances of rubbing the panniers on the rear wheel or rear rim or anything like that. Or if they get caught in your brakes, forbid. So I really like just having the top case here. And then you can strap things down inside of it. And also, I feel like it adds more substantialness to the bike. It's easier to see. And then you could put other things on here as well, like LEDs, to make yourself more visible. All right, speaking of visibility, we do have front headlight, but not only that, we have turn indicators. So there's your brights. You have low beams and high beams, which is amazing. I really love the turn indicators on here. Below that, we have a plastic fender. I would have preferred a more substantial fender to this, a metal one, but it's better to have a fender than none at all. Now you can adjust preload as well as other suspension settings for the front forks here. Like I said, we have hydraulic brakes. We have the larger 24-inch wheels here, when the Ranger S just had the 20-inch wheels, okay? So larger wheels, what does that do? Well, if you're going off-road, larger wheels is better. It also acts as a better suspension system for the bike. And maneuverability, bigger wheels are not a good thing. It's harder to maneuver the bike in tight spaces. But I've also ridden e-bikes with larger 26-inch wheels, and these are in a sweet spot. So right in between the 20, right in between the 26, these 24s provide good ride comfort and good maneuverability and good off-road performance. All right, the top basket here, the front basket is awesome as well. And so many other manufacturers don't provide a sleeve here for the front cable, so I really like that. All right, we have a 7-speed gearbox here. I believe that was the same on the Ranger S. It is also extendable, so if I want higher handlebars, I can also do that and raise that up for you guys. Speaking of quick release, because this is, let me get the cables out of the way, we have a quick release handlebar, but we also have a quick release seat here with this lever right there. So great for different ride heights if you have different people on the bikes from time to time. Now, you can adjust your highs from there, a little digital horn. Pseudo leather, it could be real leather, but you know, most of the manufacturers don't have a real nice stitched and comfortable handlebars. So I really appreciate this. It's much better than the typical rubber basketball cheap feeling. Well, I should say a cheap basketball, because a real leather basketball feels amazing. So what we have here is feels amazing with these handlebars. They didn't go the cheap route. Brakes feel awesome on this bike. We'll talk about that when we start riding. Battery level here tells you how many volts it's pushing. You have the high beams that'll let you know if you're connected to the app with a little Bluetooth logo. And on the app, it actually recognizes it as the Ranger S, because it does share a lot with the Ranger S, this being kind of like a one-off special edition bike. And if maybe it's successful, they'll make it a full-time part of their lineup. But I like how you can personalize it here, change the top speed. I have it up to 28 miles an hour. You can change the different limiters for speed on each ride level. So I have 5 levels, but you can also reduce it down to 1 to 3. So lots of customization here. You can also change the pedal assistance. So I like this setup. This is the exact setup I had on the Ranger S. And it just feels like a very similar experience here, except it's got bigger wheels, it looks cooler, and it's more comfortable due to the rear suspension here. So enough talking about the HeyBike Horizon. It's time to zip up the fanny pack and get rolling here. Let's talk about the gearbox. Let's actually turn off all pedal assistance here. Let's talk about the gearbox. Top one here is gonna downshift it to first gear. What is it like with no pedal assistance? Well, the bike definitely feels heavy, I'll say that. But you get used to it, and if you run out of juice, it's not gonna be that big of a deal, because it is geared really well. Now, I don't have really any hills here in Florida, so riding a bike here is about as easy as it gets. So this bike's, its weight, even if I run out of juice, it's never gonna be that much of a problem for me. Okay, but yeah, like it is a bit of a workout, probably up to about 10 miles an hour. Any more than that for the average person might be too much work if you run out of juice. But we're on an e-bike, so let's get into the pedal assistance. So I have 5 miles an hour set up for pedal assistance 1, and if I put the throttle down here, it's just gonna hold it. It's not gonna give me any more juice past 5 miles an hour. If I go to my next level, that's where I have it set up for 10 miles an hour, and this is a real nice cruising speed here, real relaxing. And the bike, when you're just going about this speed, really the main sound you're getting, it's the clicking of the rear chain. So it's very, very quiet, and these brakes are fantastic. A great initial bite. Oh, we made it through the pillars, no problem. Okay, and we're just gonna get onto the road here, go to pedal assistance level 5. And I don't need to keep the throttle down anymore. We're at max gear. Flying up this hill. The HeyBike is one of the most impressive bikes going uphill that I've tested. Just so much torque and juice. And that pulled us up with a little bit of pedal assistance. And right now I'm kind of ghost pedaling about after 22 miles an hour. But this bike will pull you, so you can see, hopefully the camera can pick, there's 28 right there, 28 and a half. I gotta get on the brakes, and these brakes are fantastic. Put on my turn indicator here. Get back on the throttle and get back in the bike lane. But yeah, if I want to extend my range, I'd probably just go down to pedal assistance level 4. I can pedal a little bit here and I don't have to keep my thumb on the throttle. The only time you need to put your thumb on the throttle is you don't feel like pedaling, because once you start pedaling, the motor will start to inject its power, I guess you could say. It's not as smooth as you would have from a torque sensor. It is a bit delayed compared to a torque sensor setup. This has a speed sensor setup, so it takes a little bit for it to realize that you're pedaling. And then it really does a good job of providing that assistance power. And the suspension here, oh my gosh, that bump back there is typically pretty jarring. It had no problem. Let's go ahead and downshift a little bit. And let's go ahead and take pedal assistance off right now. So we head to the beach. HeyBike Horizon. come down here. I typically like to get off here because no bike does well in this sugar sand here in South Florida. And if you need a little help, just put it in pedal assistance 1, put your thumb here, and then it'll send juice to that rear motor so you can power through the sand. So yeah, well, let's go ahead and put the kickstand. Here's a little party trick for you guys, because kickstand will sink right into this sort of sand. There you go. Profiling the bike nice and beautifully. HeyBike Horizon. It's kind of like the tricked out version of the Ranger S like I reviewed earlier this year. And now I got the baskets on it. It's a pretty cool looking bike. I'll see you guys down below. Make sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed it, and click the links if you want to see the full HeyBike lineup. I'll get a little cut, and I would appreciate that if you click the links to get the best deals on the bikes. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks HeyBike for sending us out. I'll catch you in the next one.